Well, hello YouTube, it's me, Fortmaster, and welcome back to another Alex Bale, Spongebob conspiracy reaction. The last one I watched, the first one, did really well, and I liked it, so might as well continue, shall we? So yeah, this one is the television theory. Well, I mean, unless this series is going to be that Squidward dated a television at some point, I have absolutely no idea what this is going to be about. If this is the first of these reactions that you've seen, I said in the last one that while I'd heard of the Alex Bale SpongeBob theories and how they're connected to the Happy Meat Farms ARG that happened a while ago, I never watched them myself. So as I said before, I'm kind of excited to finally, actually get around to watching these and just to see, why they were so popular. And I mean, given how the last one ended, I mean, yeah, you can definitely see there is some, very good quality here. And from what I've heard, they only get better after the first one. So hooray for me, I guess. So yeah, I guess we'll have it out of the way. Of course, as always, original video is linked in the description if you haven't seen it for some reason. Corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day. And if you have any suggestions for future reactions for me to do, you can, of course, leave them in the comment section below. Or you can head over to my Discord server and, leave them there. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get this thing actually started then, shall we?
The show Spongebob Squarepants is not what you think it is. There is a secret group of puppet masters who are always watching the citizens of Bikini Bottom and pulling the strings. Hidden within Bikini Bottom are spies that keep an eye on the characters and make sure everything goes to plan. This is a conspiracy that will fundamentally change the way you look at the show Spongebob Squarepants, and I believe it's all actually intended by the creators, and I'm gonna prove it. This is the television theory. You guys had a great reaction to my Squilliam Fancyson theory, and I had a lot of fun making it.
Squilliam, you lying, deceiving bastard! I didn't even realize that!
But trust me when I say that what I've discovered this time is much, much bigger. To start this theory, we have to go back to the very beginning of the very first episode of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Ah, the sea. So fascinating. So wonderful.
Oh god, this is the original pilot.
Bikini Bottom, teeming with life. Home of one of my favorite creatures, SpongeBob Squarepants. Yes, of course he lives in a pineapple, you silly.
So let me ask you a question. Who's speaking in this clip?
The narrator, duh. But I mean, we've seen, but yeah, and later, but I know the whole, the fact that the show technically has a narrator is kind of funny, which, I mean, I think we have seen them. I'm forgetting the name of the episode, but there was this one episode where this weird moon artifact thing came out of an underwater volcano and temporarily turned all the characters into their real life version. So SpongeBob became an actual sea sponge. Patrick was just a sea star. Mrs. Puff tried eating Mr. Krabs. That sort of stuff. And Sandy, being, not an underwater creature, wasn't affected by this, so she tried getting help from a friend of hers. Oh, I'm forgetting what she called him, though. But basically, he was, in the old-fashioned dive suit, in a submarine, and I assumed, given that they gave him the same voice, that he's just, the narrator for the show, given that he watches everybody.
Well, obviously, that's just the narrator. We hear his voice many times throughout the show.
Goo Lagoon. A stinky mud puddle for you and me. The Krusty Krab. Through these doors pass all the many kinds of undersea life. Puff's boating school, where diligent students learn the rules of the road.
But who exactly is the narrator?
He's supposed to be like Jacques Cousteau, right? Isn't he?
We're not supposed to think about who he is or why we're
Or at least a parody of him.
Lots of shows have narrator framing devices we're not supposed to think about.
Caillou was amazed that Mommy had made a rainbow, just like in the picture.
But there's something different about this narrator. He sounds a lot like he's narrating a nature documentary.
The ocean. From above, a simple blanket of water. But below, a complex world full of color, life, and wonder.
The sea.
Exactly, and he's supposed to be a parody of Jacques Cousteau.
Here we see Bikini Bottom, teeming with life.
What if I told you that he's not just some random disembodied voice? He's an actual character in this universe.
Here we are again at the Bikini Bottom boating school. Today is once again the day of SpongeBob's boating school exam, but more importantly, this is the last test for the year. And if SpongeBob does not pass this one, it means another whole year of boating school!
Oh,
SpongeBob
oh God, I remember that. Oh, this brings back so many memories.
literally crashes into the fourth wall, and we actually get to see the narrator and the camera he's been filming with. The show Spongebob Squarepants is not just a cartoon. Everything we see is a part of a nature documentary television show being filmed by scuba divers. And if you're still not convinced, I searched really hard and found an old SpongeBob DVD bonus feature that basically confirms everything.
Since before time even existed, land-loving scientists have tried to learn the secrets of intelligence. Their studies led them to the sea, where the citizens of one undersea colony demonstrated a genius so enormous, the scientists felt compelled to record their actions for use in teaching mankind how to live better. The name of this miraculous place? Bikini Bottom. Poring over the mass of brainy masterminds scattered about this strange land,
Intelligence,
the scientists
really?
chose 6 Bikini Bottom residents at random to study. As the scientists marveled at the advanced knowledge and superior intellect of these 6 creatures,
I went to college!
they rolled their cameras and took notes. And now, finally, we can learn all of the things that these smarty pantsuses have to teach us. Life lessons from Bikini Bottom.
I don't know how it can get any more clear than that. Now, if you rewatch the show with this new information in mind, some things start to take on a whole new meaning. Throughout the series, there's this weird, unexplained running gag of a human hand interfering with the characters. It's even in the beginning of every episode in the intro for the show.
Yeah.
Maybe the filmmakers are doing a bit more than just studying these characters. The hand seems to mostly interfere just to maintain the health and safety of the characters, like treating SpongeBob for the suds.
Well, Mr. Squarepants,
Oh
it seems you
God,
have
yeah, the
suds.
suds.
Are you ready for your treatment? Oh, Hans!
It makes sense that the filmmakers wouldn't want to risk the safety of their main character. After all, there's no show without SpongeBob, but that's not the only reason why they interfere.
Oh God, I love theories like this. Once again, I hesitate to like go into them too hard, just because it's the way SpongeBob is made. It's really hard to put any form of logic in, but I mean the fact that this is like potentially some sort of really messed up or really long-running nature documentary, I mean I could totally see that, especially given that I know that sometimes nature documentaries kind of fudge things to get a point across. Like, okay, what was it? There was one. It was talking about like a bunch of those like birds of paradise, the ones that are like really good at mimicking like sound and stuff like that. And during one of them, you see the male, and it's like it's mimicking the sound of a chainsaw like cutting. And you think that's really sad, and we obviously need to protect the rainforest and stuff like that. But it was revealed that that bird was not actually from the rainforest. It had lived in captivity its entire life and was from a zoo. They were just filming it very carefully inside its exhibit, and it turned out that the zoo had some work done because like a storm that happened a little while previously had damaged some trees, so they had the city come over and start trimming the trees so that they'd be safe, and then that had been gone on long enough that the bird had copied the sound. Now, of course, that is falsifying the whole thing, but at the same time, it does get the point across.
Season 3, Episode 16, I Had an Accident, is infamous for having one of the most absurd, confusing endings in the entire show. It ends with a real gorilla suddenly
God,
coming out
yeah,
of a
this
Patrick
one!
costume and attacking the characters.
A real gorilla? Huh?
And then it ends with the gorilla riding a zebra into the sunset. Oh God, this one.
Then as soon as SpongeBob begins to question the logic of the scene, this happens.
What's a gorilla doing underwater in the first place?
Oh,
Well, it's funny you should... I mean, see, George, they're onto us!
Let's get out of here.
Oh no, it wasn't a zebra, it's just a spotted horse, but still. They're onto us! Love it.
SpongeBob is a weird show.
Oh,
this is always
you've only just noticed, Alex!
stuck out as being just a little too weird. But knowing what we know now, I think I can explain what's going on here. This isn't a real gorilla. Every other land animal we've seen underwater wears a helmet and is drawn in a cartoony style. The gorilla is shown in a live-action style, and the only time we ever see live-action characters is when
with real people.
So I believe both the gorilla and the horse he rides away on are humans wearing costumes. The filmmakers set this whole thing up just to make the episode more entertaining. It's starting to seem like this isn't strictly a nature documentary anymore. It's more of a reality TV show made for entertainment. Who knows what other absurd elements of the show are actually put there by the filmmakers to make the show more entertaining and profitable. Although, based on the people's reaction, it doesn't always seem to pay off.
Of course,
How far will the filmmakers go to make the show more profitable?
Saturday morning in Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob is watching his favorite Saturday morning show, The Adventures of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, enjoying a bowl of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy bland cereal, and wearing the official Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Blackfist Biters.
If we think of this as a television show, this sounds an awful lot like a product placement. I mean, listen to how the narrator specifically says the full names of the products.
The Adventures of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy bland cereal, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Blackfist Biters.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's almost like the Truman Show. Oh, God. You know, just thinking, that just reminds me of, like, early SpongeBob. Oh, thinking about it. I mean, in the last episode, you look at all of their... Could it be, almost, that this isn't a natural society? It's been basically fostered and, like, grown specifically to make a show. Because as I said in the previous episode, I remember previously hearing that, like, you look at the buildings in Bikini Bottom and most of them are car mufflers. And this could possibly tie into the whole thing that Bikini Bottom's at the bottom of the Bikini Atoll, and all of the people who live there are like the results of, you know, nuclear radiation mutating normal sea life. So maybe once they discovered this mutated sea life that was like beginning to show the signs of sentience, they helped manufacture a civilization that they could then film and monetize. Okay, let's see if this is where this goes.
Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Maybe the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy TV show is actually from the surface world. They are human after all. It makes sense that the filmmakers would choose to highlight these popular superhero characters. The more they show, the more they're gonna sell Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy merchandise.
Yeah.
Hang on a second, why are Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy the same size as all the fish in Bikini Bottom, even though humans are always shown as massive compared to fish? Whatever. I'll come back to that one later. The show doesn't even just hide product placements. In the episode Model Sponge, they literally trick SpongeBob into making a commercial for a human product.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Director.
Very well. Lose the pants! Pants! There's my star!
What's happening? What's happening?
In this scene, you'll be cleaning bathroom fixtures.
Okay. So where's my cleaning utensil?
You are the cleaning utensil.
Oh no, your bathroom is a disaster. Get it cleaned up fast with the new Sponge. Household chores are a snap with new Sponge. It cleans sinks. Just look at that shine.
This is just like in real life how SpongeBob
definitely is a lot of merchandise.
To sell tons and tons of products. So far I've shown you that the show Spongebob Squarepants is actually a documentary television show, but the creators continually interfere to push their own agendas and make more money. But that brings us to an important question. Do the characters know they're in a television show? Let's go back to that clip where SpongeBob hits the cameraman.
It means another whole year of boarding school!
Aww.
What happened?
Oh, nothing, SpongeBob. You just struck another pedestrian.
Mrs. Puff calls him a pedestrian, which sounds more like she thinks he's just some random Bikini Bottom citizen. The different types of marine life in SpongeBob are so diverse and weird looking that it's not too hard to believe that the characters just think these filmmakers are another weird type of fish. And back to the gorilla episode, the gorilla and the horse immediately get nervous and run away when SpongeBob questions what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you should... see, George, they're onto us!
Let's get out of here.
Almost like the creators don't want the characters to be aware their lives are being interfered with.
You know, I almost have to wonder, what was going on in the writer's room when this episode specifically was written? Like, did they hit like a brick wall and just couldn't figure out how to end it, so they just threw in something completely random? Like the gorilla riding on a horse into the sunset because they couldn't figure out how to end the whole thing. Oh.
Now, there isn't a ton of footage of the characters interacting with the filmmakers, but I dug really, really deep and found the smoking gun that answers all of our questions. This is an old commercial from 2004 made to promote the SpongeBob movie.
Oh, the movie.
SpongeBob, what kind of jellyfish is that?
It's not a jellyfish, Patrick. It's a spaceship.
Hey guys, it's Carlos from The Zone. I was wondering if you could answer a few questions.
The Zone. Oh my god. Oh, that brings back so many memories. So if you don't know, The Zone was sort of like a segment on YTV. Yeah, that's what it was called. And I think YTV's only a Canadian channel. But basically it's sort of, I think the closest you could put it to was like Cartoon Network or something. Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. Actually, I think probably it'd be closer to Nickelodeon, because for a while there, especially when I was a kid, they had the whole, you know, gross thing going on. Like they had slime as well there, but their big thing was when I was a kid, like they'd have like 3 hairy thumbs up or something like that. They have a hand with like 3 thumbs, and that was the movie. That was like whenever they show like a movie or something on it back then. Oh, that brings back so many memories. Carlos and Sugar, they were the hosts of The Zone. Oh god, I wonder whatever happened to them. Actually, sorry, I gotta go on a tangent here. Whatever happened to them? Because I think I remember seeing Carlos in something recently. I can't remember what. Wait, Carlos is a reporter for ET Canada? Oh wow, okay, talk about going up in the world. But what happened to Sugar? Geez, she's been in a lot of stuff. Huh. Well, I mean, she's still making stuff, so good for her. Yeah, sorry for going off track like that. I got distracted by memory lane.
Questions? Run for your lives!
No, Pat, don't you see? It wants to learn about our world, and it's chosen us.
What? Yay! We've been chosen.
A submarine comes down to SpongeBob and Patrick to ask questions to promote the new movie. SpongeBob and Patrick are clearly confused by this and think the submarine is some kind of alien. They also have no idea that they're the stars of a movie.
Well, thanks guys. We'll see you in the movie.
Bye!
Movie? What's that?
I don't know.
I never saw this commercial, at least I don't think so.
At this point that the characters are unaware their lives are being filmed and interfered with. But there are some characters that have to have some level of awareness. For example, the Dr. Fish that told the human hand to treat SpongeBob, and the Director Fish that directed the commercial for the human world. What makes these characters so special? First off, the Director Fish isn't actually from Bikini Bottom. Before he directed this commercial, we saw him as a citizen of New Kelp City in the episode Whatever Happened to SpongeBob. Out of all the characters they could have used, they specifically chose a character from out of town. Almost like the filmmakers didn't want to use anyone in Bikini Bottom so they wouldn't risk everyone finding out about the television show. Then there's the Dr. Fish. We don't know where he originally came from, but he's an extremely suspicious character. Usually he's purple, but sometimes he's orange, sometimes he's purple with orange hands, sometimes he's a pirate, and he bears a striking resemblance to Dr. Manowar from the Jellyfish Convention.
And now it only hurts when you touch it.
Touch.
Why does he have so many different disguises and identities? What is he hiding? I believe hidden throughout Bikini Bottom are spies like this, who are aware they're in a television show and keep tabs on the main characters and make sure everything goes to plan. There's so many suspicious characters in Bikini Bottom that it could literally be anyone. The mailman, the hot dog vendor, Old Man Jenkins, it could literally be anyone. But what if I told you that the biggest spy of all isn't some random side character? It's one of the main characters of the show. Someone who's been there from the very beginning. Someone who's not even from Bikini Bottom. Someone who's not even from the ocean.
Sandy,
right.
duh, of course.
Sandy Cheeks. Sandy Cheeks is the thrill-seeking scientific squirrel from Texas who lives underwater in her tree dome. But why did she come to Bikini Bottom? In the episode Chimps Ahoy, we find out she was hired by a group of chimpanzees to come underwater and create inventions. But why does she need to be underwater to make inventions? She could have just as easily have made any of her inventions on land. It must be extremely expensive to maintain a giant dome of air underwater. There is no way the only reason she's here is to make random inventions.
Well, I mean, I could see it. I mean, like, you're not going to get a tougher conditions just for existence than you are at the bottom of the ocean. So, I mean, she could specifically be down there to create inventions that are, like, super tough, at least by surface standards, and that can take like a huge beating because they were designed to exist and survive at the bottom of the ocean.
I think this whole episode is an elaborate ruse to throw off the other characters from the real reason Sandy is in Bikini Bottom, to spy on the main characters and make sure the show stays on track. Many of the times the characters are in danger, Sandy conveniently steps in to save the day, and many of the wacky, entertaining episode plots are driven by an invention Sandy creates. Everything
definitely.
she does is a calculated move to carry out the hidden agenda of the filmmakers. Her entire friendship with Spongebob and the other characters is built on a lie. But you're probably saying, Sandy is a sweet, friendly squirrel. There's no way she's behind this. You're not convinced yet? That's okay. Because what I'm about to show you is so mind-blowing, so insanely revealing, that it's actually the whole reason I decided to make this video. Get ready for the big one.
Really? What is this?
Season 10, Episode 10, Feral Friends, is the episode that unlocks this entire mystery. During a birthday party, a green moon suddenly appears and...
This is the episode I was talking about! This, oh god, the one where the weird moon comes out of a volcano and turns all the sea creatures feral.
Everyone accepts Sandy into less evolved, real-life versions of themselves. Sandy is completely caught off guard by this and decides to call someone for help. And take a guess who she calls.
The narrator!
Hello, French narrator speaking.
Hey, Frenchie, it's me, Sandy.
Ah, Sandy Cheeks. How is it hanging?
Oh, it's not hanging too good, Frenchie. You see, there's this...
Don't say another word. I have been monitoring the behavior of the green moon all day.
Huh, yeah, I guess that's a pretty interesting clip, yeah. Holy shit! Sandy literally calls the narrator to let him know what's going on and asks for instructions on what to do next. She has been working with him the entire fucking time. He even has a picture of her on his desk. This is where I originally planned on ending the video, but there is still one small issue with the television theory. Just
the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, yeah.
If this is all a television show filmed by scuba divers, then how are we seeing inside the buildings? It's not like any of the humans filming the show could fit inside them. It's the one annoying thing that keeps this theory from being complete. I mean, the most logical explanation is that they have hidden cameras inside of everyone's homes, but we never really see anything like that. Holy shit.
Yeah, we do.
Season 6, episode 24.
Truth or Square, you're right.
The SpongeBob 10th anniversary special where they reveal lots of stuff about the characters. But the most damning piece of evidence comes from when the characters get lost in the Krusty Krab vents and end up in a room full of monitors showing live footage of all of their homes.
Oh, my house is on TV.
All of our houses are on TV.
You know what? Of course, Mr. Krabs would also be on this. I mean, he's obviously doing it just for the money. They're paying him to do this. And he has, like, no morals.
Gary the Snail, you get down from that bed this instant.
Hey, there's my house.
Look, it's Sandy.
And who is the character responsible for all of these hidden cameras?
Mr. Krabs, why do you have cameras watching us?
Oh, well, I just want to make sure you all floss after every meal.
Thank you, Mr. Krabs. Dental hygiene is very, very important.
Dental hygiene? Gene, you lying bastard. Of course he would sell out his friends for a quick buck. And if there's any part of you that thinks there's some chance Mr. Krabs has all these hidden cameras for some other reason, then take a look at what happens next.
Yeah, look.
Who are those guys?
I think it's us, Patrick. But who are they?
Alright, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. A cameraman and a boom operator have been following around the characters this entire time. And just like the gorilla, as soon as they get seen, they make a run for it. The case is closed.
Oh,
The
God.
television theory is something the show has consistently alluded to from the very first episode to the newest episodes. Maybe one day the show will actually directly address it and our characters will discover the real truth about their world. But
I highly doubt
that's
it.
my theory. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more. See you next time. Hey, whoa. Hang on a second. You thought I forgot about the Mermaid Man
Oh,
and
right. Yeah,
Barnacle
that's kind
Boy
of
thing,
important, isn't
didn't
it?
ya? Alright, here's a quick bonus theory. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy were two superheroes that fought crime underwater and protected the sea from evil. Whether or not they actually did this or was all staged for television isn't clear, but they both spent their lives underwater until they became old and retired. But after spending so much time under the sea, they no longer fit in with human society. Plus, Mermaid Man is clearly dealing with some form of dementia and PTSD from fighting evil.
But you can't retire. There's evil afoot.
What?
So, they decided to live the rest of their lives in Bikini Bottom, and in order to fit in better with their fellow sea creatures, they made the permanent decision to shrink themselves using Mermaid Man's shrinking belt.
Of course, you had it set to Mini instead of Wombo. You fools!
The case is closed. Again.
Oh my God, I absolutely loved that. That was wonderful. Oh, of course it was the belt. Oh, so yeah. That was the second of the Alex Bale theories, and I mean, as they were right, they are getting better. Oh God, how's this going to end? Like, at least theory-wise, because I know it eventually goes into like parts merging into like, you know, don't feed the muse and stuff like that. But still, I want to see more of these. Oh God. Oh, this is beautiful. Of course, as always, original video is linked in the description if you haven't seen it for some reason. Corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day, and if you have any suggestions, you leave them in the comment section below or my Discord server, you know, that whole shtick. And I hope you guys liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.